Welcome back to Derbs News, where we talk about news that actually matters. That's what we do here. Patrick Beverley put his balls on another man's face. And by his balls, I mean he threw a basketball at a Pacers fan for saying something. He was then suspended for 4 games. Here is the incident. Fan throws the ball, he throws it right back. And honestly, he didn't throw it that hard. It's also kind of embarrassing he missed his face. Obviously, he is not a shooter, but I do know where he can take notes. Beverley claims he was called a word that he'd never been called before. And I'm just curious what that word was. Maybe the guy was like cutie, hottie, sexy. And I think he was so rattled and filled with newfound emotions from having been flirted with by another man that he just didn't know how to express himself. And just in anger threw the ball. No, I'm kidding. It was definitely something super racist. He also apparently refused to talk to a ESPN reporter because she didn't subscribe to his podcast. I don't need a joke for that one. Also, I don't know about you, but I'm tired of these NBA suspensions with no real consequences. I think we should switch it up. Instead of just being suspended, in the post-game interviews, he has to cross-dress. So yeah, feel free to clip this and send it to the NBA. In other news, they found a dead worm in RFK Jr.'s brain. And I guess that's better than a bullet. Now, I'm not into conspiracies, but have you ever seen Ratatouille? I'm just saying it's a coincidence that this happened and his voice happened.
I went about a year ago.
I'm just connecting the dots. I also think the worm just gave up once he figured out he was a politician. He was like, you guys don't have free healthcare? Oh, I forgot to mention, the worm ate his brains until he died. Which, man, I wish a girl would give me brain until she died. I also have to say, this is not the kind of worms I expected him to have. He also got mercury poisoning, and his mercury levels were 10 times what they consider safe. And he said that's because I loved tuna fish sandwiches. I ate them all the time. Which, I don't know if he's talking about an actual sandwich or his wife's punani. No, I'm kidding. But could you imagine him using that as an excuse? She's like, I really want you to go down on me. He's like, whoa. In that fish market? In other news, Cardi B has been labeled a racist by some, or many, maybe. Apparently she referred to her Met Gala dress designer as Asian instead of his name. Forgot how to pronounce his name and didn't want to be offensive, so she said Asian designer because she knew he was Asian, but also wasn't sure what nationality the designer was. And that's great. She could have said something way worse. For instance, she could have been like, his name is like, I think it's chow mein. No, is that a dish? He has like these eyes that are, well, they're not different. It's just, and he kind of smelled like Panda Express. Oh, that could have been me. And when he speaks, it sounds like any of those things would have been so racist if she said them. So it's a good thing that she didn't. It's a good thing she didn't say those. In other news, I just found out Helen Keller can write because her archived letters are selling for $75,000. Now, I wasn't one to pay attention in school. That would be cringe. I didn't know she could write. Nobody told me that. Because she's blind and deaf. What the fuck? Was she just sitting there like, no, Helen, the paper's right here. You're missing it. You can... Oh, yeah. I forgot you're blind and deaf. I forgot that was your whole shtick. Did the words look like hieroglyphics? Also, my dog is blind and deaf, and he shits himself anytime anyone touches him. I know she wasn't allowed to have Chipotle. Could you imagine how terrifying her life would be? Also, yo, she's kind of a baddie, I'm not gonna lie. She was unable to speak? What is she, Joe Biden? I swear I'm not political. What's next? She was born with 3 buttholes? She was so brave. So brave. We don't know how she picked which hole to use. She was quite literally like a human bowling ball. And now we're back to Kendrick and Drake news. There's a lot to go over, but I'll do a quick summary. Kendrick drops Not Like Us, which is an absolute banger.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
In it, he claims Drizzy and his OV hoes are pedophiles, which is not an ideal scenario to be in. Full transparency, I'm a massive Drake fan. I'm also a massive Kendrick fan, but Drake is my number one. I don't think he's actually a pedophile. All of these allegations are just that, allegations. Till there's real proof of any of this, you know, I'm not changing how I feel about my rappers. This is also something the internet forgets, that there can just be allegations and they can also not be true. The next day, Drake drops The Heart Part 6, where he addresses these allegations and says, no, I am not a pedo. And he also reveals that he fed Kendrick fake information about himself, especially like the having a fake daughter, which is big news. That is big news, but that also doesn't overtake Kendrick's massive claim of him being a pedophile. There's nothing worse than being called that. Well, just kidding. Actually, you could be called a liberal. He also doubles down on one of Kendrick's kids being Dave Freeze, and even claims that Kendrick himself was touched as a kid, which is why he's putting the pedophile claim on Drake and why he's so obsessed with it, which is... And I personally think Kendrick is winning, I will admit, but it's not over. I do think Drake could easily win this if he were to drop a song featuring Chris Hansen. I'm just saying. And then in the music video, they catch a predator. That's good. Anyways, fast forward to the next thing. Because of that Not Like Us thumbnail we got here, Drake's house was then shot up. Or rather, his security guard was shot in a drive-by. Also, they do say they have no idea who shot up Drake's house, but I have the inside information. I have reason to believe that Drake was lying about feeding information, and it was actually his 11-year-old daughter. And the driver, his bastard son. In left bucket, his other bastard daughter. In right bucket, his other bastard. And then fast forward again, not one, but two people show up to Drake's house and try and enter his home. Separate days, separate incidents. Neither seem to have weapons, so it's unclear what they were doing. But again, I have a theory. I think maybe this was all like a bat signal for the pedophiles. That's where the pedophiles hang out. Okay, we're not. In other news, a fight breaks out at a screening of the new Garfield movie. Now, it's unclear why this took place, but I get it. Nothing gets me going more than a fat, lazy, orange cat. Why is he so fat? Is somebody gonna help him? Put him on a diet. Does anyone want to see him live longer? Why is he so fat? And now it's time for video of the week. If you're new here, we just look at the first reel because my algorithm is just putrid, but it will make you laugh. Yo, you hear that barking spider? Pro farter 4. That's, yeah. All right. I was expecting something crazy, and therefore we're gonna watch another one. Oh god, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad. Oh. Someone said he did that on purpose. What kind of fucking crack are you on? Yeah, why did she say he did that on purpose? God damn, that wasn't even... Ooh. Yo, is this how shredded chicken is? I was trying to think of a joke. That's all right, and that's gonna do it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this didn't come out late, but I had to refilm it because the first time just sucked. So I spent like an hour just writing jokes. So, you know, just I hope you enjoyed. I don't know. I love you all. Okay, bye.